So thank you so much for this chance. I'm so grateful to be here. I believe that all of you are young generations that will change this world. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic. I'm only a student and this is the topic that I've been learning about recently. So I believe that all of us realize that we have to have good connections or communications with other people, especially for those who we consider it as our closest ones. I believe that we know that we have to talk nicely and politely to every person in this world or probably in our surroundings. And the reason why we have to behave that way or we have to talk that way or communicate that way because it is kind of a tradition or a belief that we have possessed since a long time ago. Or probably our parents always teach us to behave or communicate politely and generously to every person, every individual we meet in our lives. But today I'm not going to talk about how to have good communications with other people, but rather how to talk to ourselves. Yes, self-talk. We can define self-talk as inner speech or internal dialogue, which is simply influenced by our subconscious mind, and it reveals our beliefs, thoughts, questions, and ideas. Self-talk can be positive or negative. It can be disappointing or frustrating, or it can be encouraging sometimes. It is just depends on our way, the way we view things, our perspective, and our personalities. So self-talk, as I said, that I have been learning about this topic recently. I learned from the books I read, the videos I watch, and podcasts on many platforms that I always listen to. And I'm so grateful for that. I get a lot of knowledge, inspiration, and such uplifting messages and lessons that could support me, could encourage me to have good self-talk with myself. So, recently I just watch, as I said, I just watch a lot of videos and listen to a lot of podcasts. And there is something interesting with this self-talk. As we see nowadays, social media has given us a lot of negative influences or negative impacts in our lives. But I'm not saying that social media is always negative, but as you can see, so many people suicide. They decide to end their lives in a very young age. I think one of the reasons why they decide to do so is just because they do not have good self-talk with themselves. Social media put a lot of pressure to us because we couldn't filter everything that we watch, we see, we scroll it in every day in our lives. So, as I said, social media kind of put a lot of negative things into our personalities and our lives, and it makes us start to think that, oh, probably I'm not perfect, I'm not good, I'm not smart, I'm worthless and everything. We put those beliefs into our minds, into our hearts, and that makes us act that way. So it actually supports us to have negative talk to ourselves. When we see a lot of negative things on social media, on the internet, on YouTube or whatever, we just kind of start to say negative words to ourselves too. And I think it is time to for us as young people to learn this. Come on, it is time for us to filter everything that we see, everything that we watch in our daily lives. So, um, just a few days ago, I listened to a podcast. It is so amazing. It is so great. It is from Abria Joseph on TED Talks on YouTube. I learned that topic is about removing negative self-talk. So, what I learned from that video is that we as human beings, as young generations, sometimes we tell unreal stories to ourselves. For example, let's say um, you will take IELTS next month. You will take IELTS next month. And now you tell yourself that, God, I'm gonna fail this test. I will not make it. Come on, it will happen next month, not today. And when you say that I'm gonna fail this test, I will not make it. At that moment, you are telling an unreal story to yourself. Why? Because you even haven't known how the questions will be. You even haven't known where you will sit in that room when you take the test. And why do you say those negative words to yourself that you will fail it? This is just an example. There are a lot of examples, there are a lot of things that we probably do in our daily lives, and this is just one of that. And come on, it is time for us to be realistic with our lives. Let's stop telling lies to ourselves. Let's start loving ourselves. Okay, the next thing that I learned is a beautiful podcast by Rob Dial. It is called The Mindset Mentor. I learned about self-love and self-talk in that podcast. And there are two examples that Rob Dial described in that podcast. And I'm so grateful for that. The first thing, let's say, about a kid. For example, this kid has terrible parents. And every day, his parents tell him like negative words. They talk to him, you are stupid, you are fat, you are worthless, you are not confident, and etc. About negative words in each and every day. And let us imagine what or who will be this kid become in the future. What are his actions after hearing those negative words? Probably he will not be too confident about himself because his parents tell him that you're stupid, you're nothing in every single day. And for sure, it will be hard for this kid to kind of be confident about himself. He probably will not know what is the purpose of my life. Probably. But imagine if you meet this kid or you see this kid. You might say, oh my God, that kid, Joe, he is too pity. He should have heard better words than that. Well, let's start to be realistic. Have you ever said those words to yourself? When you are falling down, when you fail the test in your lives, in your schools, have you ever told that way to yourself that oh my God, I have to accept this. It is okay. Probably I got E on math, but it is okay. I still have chance to be better. Have you ever said that to yourself? Come on, it is time to be realistic about ourselves. Most of the time, we put pity face to, for example, that kid, because we think that we are older than him and we have more life experiences than him. Well, there is no difference. We're just the same. We're all humans. So let's start to be nice to ourselves. The next thing that I learned from Rob Dial in his podcast is that, let's say a friend of yours just broke up with her boyfriend. And as a friend, as her lawyer friend, best friend, you should be there for her. And when you get to see her, you probably will not say, okay, girl or friend, please find a mirror and see yourself. Just go to the mirror and see yourself. And actually, you're so stupid, you're so ugly, and you're not worthy, and you're worthless, and you're nothing, and you do not deserve to be loved, and you do not deserve to have a boyfriend. Will you say that? I bet you will not, because if I were your friend, I would literally kill you. Because, come on, man, you're my best friend, you're my loyal friend. Why would you say those negative words to me? And I bet you will not say that to your friend when he or she just broke up with her boyfriend, because you love her, you care for her. The words that you will say for her, hey, I support you. I know you're sad now, but come on. You have me, and I will always be your side. I will support you. You will say those words. You will not say negative words to her. Now my question is, have you ever said that to yourself when you're falling down? Have you ever considered to be nice to yourself when you find yourself that you're falling down, you just being stressed about all aspects in your lives? Come on, let's think. Sometimes it is too easy to calm down and talk nicely to other people, especially when they have problems. And sometimes it is not too difficult for us to say disappointing words to ourselves when you're falling down. I repeat again. Sometimes it is too easy to calm down and talk nicely to other people, especially when they have problems. And sometimes it is not too difficult for us to say disappointing words to ourselves when we are falling down. Come on, we are humans. Stop talking lies, unreal stories, negative words to ourselves. Start loving ourselves. In this age, in this point in our lives, let's start think about this. Young people, start to realize this. This is very important for our future, because what we do today will affect our lives in the next day. Stop putting burdens into our body that will affect the way we live. I'm so grateful that you all have chance to listen to these very important points, because I think nowadays young people are just kind of forgetting this thing. Stop wearing masks in front of people. Stop pretending to be nice, to be cool in front of your friends when your heart is broken. Just spend a time to talk to yourself. Support yourself, because no one else is going to do that except you. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much. And I hope that you could talk to yourself nicely each and every day, no matter how bad the circumstance is. Thank you so much.